A very good evening to all. On behalf of the Dignity Foundation Chennai chapter, I welcome each and everyone present in this gathering. And my hearty welcome to Dr. Kanaka Sabai for taking off time from his busy schedule to be with us this evening. I request Rukmini ma'am to introduce Dr. Kanaka Sabai. Rukmini ma'am, the floor is yours.
Ma'am, unmute.
Mute பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, sorry. Good evening to all. I take great pleasure introducing the guest speaker for today, Dr. Kanaka Sabai, an eminent doctor amongst us who has dedicated his entire career to provide quality medical. He is a postgraduate in medicine and did his MBA in hospital administration too. He has served as dean in many private medical colleges and has been instrumental in the upgradation of these institutes. So many doctors would have now started serving the society. He has been the director of medical education as well. Currently, he is the vice chancellor of Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research in Chennai. The National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAAC, has awarded him A grade for his service to the medical profession. He has earned honors. The most was the Lifetime Achievement Award received from the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu in 2013 and the Best Medical Administrator Award. Now, he is with us to on one's autonomy, especially we the senior citizens, to decide the way we should be handled in our final days and how to maintain our dignity and privacy within the company of our loved ones in the family society. It is in and pleasure to present before you Dr. V. Kanaka Sabai, and on behalf of Chennai chapter of Dignity, requesting you all to put your hands together to welcome Dr. Kanaka Sabai. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. It's a great pleasure to be a part of your organization today. I take it as an honor for me for permitting you to share my ideas on living well amongst you, among the members of the Dignity Foundation. As all of you are aware, there are a number of branches of medicine, more than 30 to 40 branches of medicine, like cardiologist, neurologist, nephrologist, gastroenterologist, and all. There is a separate specialty called palliative care medicine. It's a new branch. In India, we have about 560 medical colleges, both government and private sector, but only 3 medical colleges are offering a course in palliative care medicine. Today's topic, what I'm going to talk is Advanced Medical Directive, or in common parlance, it is called as Living Will. Kindly permit me to screen share. I'll go through my slides. Sorry, I'm not able to get it. There is a small snag. I'll just go out and come back again. Internet is slow.
Sir, if you can switch off your video, internet speed will improve. Oh no, but you have to show this thing, no screen. Sorry.
If all of us switch off our videos, it will improve the bandwidth, and when he is sharing the screen, he will get a better reception. I am switching off my video.
I have already done it.
Let all of us switch off our
I
video.
think doctor had logged out.
He said he will log out and then come back again.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it is better if everybody switches off their video.
Let there be at least some people when the doctor comes back. Otherwise, it will be dark.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you will think that everybody has gone.
At least 4 or 5 people, let them be on. As of now, it is 91 people attending. Quite a good one. I think it is increasing. So slowly people are joining. It will be good.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, doctor.
Am I audible, please? Yeah, I just net is slow. I just start screen sharing.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm not allowed to screen share. Please permit me a co-host. Kindly permit me a co-host.
1 second, sir. 1 second. Done, sir.
I'll try.
Yeah, it has come.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Palliative care. The topic is Advanced Medical Directive. Common words called as living will. Extremely sorry for because of net connection, this snag is there. In India, importance is given to any issue we talk, whether it's right or wrong. Any issue we talk, even today's topic, we are talking about living will. Some will say this is good, some will say it's bad. Any issue we go and see in only whether the issue is right or wrong, whether it is good or it is sin. That too, it is based on the person's level of education, his wealth, his social standing, his geographical area where he belongs to, whether he belongs to South India, whether he belongs to North India, East India, and so on. And another parameter is religion. Based on religion, some say is what he says is correct, some say what he says is wrong. Again, based on community. So various factors like education, wealth, social standing, geographical area, the religion, the community. Based on these things, we decide any issue, whether it is right or wrong, whether it is good or sin. But we are not giving importance to the last line, personal autonomy. We are not giving importance to personal autonomy. Importance of personal autonomy came to limelight after 3 landmark judgments from the Supreme Court of India between 2017 and 18, as late as 2017-18, hardly 3 to 4 years backward. See, in the Indian Constitution, which has come into effect right from 1950, January 26, all of you are aware, for the past 70 years, India is a republic country and the Constitution is in force. What does Article 21 of Indian Constitution say? It says right to life. What is right to life? I have the right to determine my own future, to accept or decline any therapy, to decide who decides for me. I have the right to determine my own future means, see, nowadays children, they decide their own future, their own course, their own education, their own job, and so on and so forth. It is given in the Constitution. But earlier, we were all tutored by our parents to take this course of study, this job, this place of domiciliary status, those things. But nowadays, the children are using the Indian Constitution. They have the right to determine my own future, to accept or decline therapy. See, some take modern medicine, some go for Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, acupressure, acupuncture, and so on. So that is there in the Constitution. You can accept or decline any therapy, to decide who decides for me. That is, towards the end of our life, we become semi-conscious. There will be mental clouding. There will be disorientation, delirium. You can't think for yourself. So when you can't think for yourself, somebody has to decide what is the line of treatment you should undergo. So you have to decide who decides that line of treatment for you. So these three things are given under right to life under Article 21 of Indian Constitution. So quality of death index. Majority of you must have heard a term of quality of health index. So it refers to infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, those things. Goa, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu are some of the leading states in the health index. Now today we are talking about death index. Among the 180 countries in the world surveyed, 180 countries, we stand about 166th position. Very, very low position. First place is occupied by United Kingdom. Second place is Australia. Third is New Zealand. Though India leads in many fields, like in communication, India is one of the leading countries. In case of space research, we are also coming one of the top countries in space research. Coming to medical technology, the tourism also, medical tourism is there. People from West come to India for surgery and other treatment protocols. Whereas in case of death index, we stand very low position of 166th position among the 180 countries. What is Indian reality? Most people like to die at home without being bedridden and without troubling the family members. When any senior citizen talks, he tells that I want to die instantly, spontaneously, without myself suffering and without creating trouble for our kith and kin. But in reality, 70 to 80% end up dying in hospitals. Earlier, it was in the cities alone. Now, slowly, even in small towns and villages, people rush to hospitals, and majority of the 70% of people die in the hospitals. So here you are seeing 4 graphs. So for people who die above 50 years, we are talking only about people who die after 50 years. The top left-hand corner, there is a sudden death. So the function of the individual is high. Suddenly they get heart attack, massive myocardial infarction, or major fatal accident, then they die. So this 10% of the people have sudden death. So this is the first graph. The second graph, terminal illness. About 20% have this terminal illness. It's called as waterfall trajectory death. Here the function is also good. Like earlier case, the function is also good. But suddenly they are diagnosed, at this point they are diagnosed with a terminal illness like cancer. Then like a waterfall, gradually their function comes down and death. So 20% of the people come under terminal illness. Here organ failure, another 20% come under organ failure. This is called as looping downward trajectory form of death. So all of you know non-communicable diseases like diabetes mellitus, hypertension, long-standing uncontrolled diseases, they produce organ failure like cardiac failure, kidney failure, and liver failure. So then the patient becomes sick, he goes to the ICU, comes back better, again he becomes better, then again he becomes sick, again better, again sick, and ultimately death happens. So the last group, the fourth group is frailty. This is almost like old age. In this group, people are of 70 years or 80 years old people. Their initial function is itself is low. gradually it declines and death happens. This is called as downward dwindling trajectory. 50% of the people die in this group. This the example being dementia and Parkinsonism. So from these graphs, we can make out that only 10% of the people die suddenly without ourselves knowing. The remaining 85 to 90% of the people, they know their death is approaching. So 85 to 90% of the deaths are predictable. They are foreseen some weeks or months before they occur. But in India, precedence is given to curing the illness rather than managing the patients and the pain. Problems limiting us from dying well. Because the death index is low, because we are not dying well. If you die well, the death index will be at a higher level. What are the problems limiting us from dying well? We are having two, because we are not willing to talk about death. Because in all cultures in India, we are abstaining from talking about death. If you talk about death, even at 70 or 80, people think it is a bad omen. So they close their mouth. No, you don't talk about death. Why are you talking about death? You are not too old. Even at 17, 80, they say you are not too old. Because we are not willing to talk about death, we lose two opportunities. What are the first opportunities? Express our last wishes. Even a convict who is going to be hanged is asked about his last wishes. If you remember, when we were children, in those 50 years back, when our grandfather or grandmother will be sick, they'll send telegrams to all the relatives. All the relatives, the children, the grandchildren, they will assemble at the grandparents' house. They'll be surrounding the bed and they'll be talking to the ailing patient. And the patient will also tell stories about how when the son was small, how you took him to school, or when the grandchild was small, how you accompanied him to the school. And those stories they will recollect. Again, the children and grandchildren also will tell the dying person that how they tried to be how they were mischievous, how they fooled them, or how they acted, and so on and so forth. So between the dying person and his children and grandchildren, there will be exchange of ideas of the past memories, fond memories, and the whole family will be in a happy mood of those days. Past memories, they will recollect the past memories and they'll be happy. Second, we lose opportunity for life reviews. What is life reviews? An emotional settling of accounts. See, in majority of the families, you would have known that because of a small trivial discomfort or a small misunderstanding, families, they fall apart. They don't attend weddings. They don't go to the deaths. They behave as if they are enemies. Because of small misunderstanding at one incident, the families are away for even 20 or 30 years. So at least before death, if we realize that we are going to die, then we can call the relatives to our home and express our regret. Tell sorry whether we have done a mistake or whether the other person has done a mistake. It is immaterial because already we are going to die. So we should at least straighten the accounts. So tell sorry for what has happened. Ask them to forget what it has happened. And you should forgive also. You should forget and forgive the small mistakes, whether it is done by us or done by others. And the family should be together. Even among close friends, sometimes thick friends, some small misunderstanding happens and they are separated for decades. At least before death, we should call them, express our regret and become friendly again and be cheerful. So that we are not able to talk because we don't realize that we'll die. We don't have time. That we should, if you realize that we don't have time, we'll surely call them and express our regret. Since we lose these two opportunities, there is a default option takes place. What is the default option? To continue until the bitter end. Away from family, dying in the intensive care unit, alone and suffering. Once you go to the intensive care unit, the family is not permitted to meet the patient. They are away from you. You will be alone and you'll be suffering. Next picture, you will see it. This is a pictorial demonstration of two types of death. On the left, what you see is in the intensive care ward. All of you know how it will be in the intensive care ward. The patient is lying on his bed of the hospital. Through his arms, there is IV fluid is being given. And through his nose, there is a nasal tube is given through which milk and other liquid food is being fed. And through his throat, there is a ventilator is connected to ventilator through which oxygen is given through a ventilator. If it's given for more than 2 to 3 weeks, they make a small opening in the trachea. It's called as tracheostomy, through which oxygen is being sent. Another limb is being connected to the cardiac monitor that makes a beep beep sound. There is a pulse oximeter connected to it, which tells about heart rate, pulse rate, his BP, his respiratory rate, and so on. And is surrounded by the hospital environment, the doctor's voices, the nurses' voices. And he may die. His soul may depart from his body, and he may die lonely with these sufferings. On the right is the death which takes place some 40, 50 years back when we were children. This was the type of death our grandparents and grandparents, they went through. The patient in his home bed, in his own home, in his bed, is lying down. His hand is being held by the close relatives. Hand holding gives so much of comfort and relief to a deceased patient, deceased individual, and to a dying individual. And so the scriptures are being read. Scriptures are being read. Suppose based on the religious faith, either it is Quran or Bible or Bhagavad Gita. Based on the religious faith, they read the Quran or Bible or Gita is being read. Divine music is playing. He is in a known atmosphere, surrounded by relatives. So choice is ours, whether to die in the ICU alone like this, or to die at home like our grandfathers or grandmothers died. The choice is ours. Planning for a quality death. Where to die, how to die, and whose presence. Good death involves knowing when death is coming. You should know when death is coming. Having the time to say goodbye to your friends and siblings, children, spouse, you should be able to say goodbye. To be able to live when it is time to go. To be able to live when it is time to go. And not to have life prolonged pointlessly. Many a times, though intensive care unit helps to make the people alive. I'm a doctor who has worked in bigger hospitals, and many people have been saved because of intensive care. This intensive care itself has come to Western country some 70 years back, in 1950s only. In India, for the past 40 to 50 years only, we have intensive care facilities. But some people, in other angle, if you think in other angle, it not only prolongs life, intensive care sometimes for some people with terminal illness, uncontrolled terminal illness, it sometimes prolongs the dying process. Prolongs the dying process. So a patient is not able to die immediately. His death is being prolonged. So not to have life prolonged pointlessly. Destination cannot be changed. See, everyone who has been born is to die one day. So destination cannot be changed. But journey can be decided. See, we plan everything in our life about education, about college education, about a job, about house, about a wedding, about building a house or buying a car, vehicle. We plan everything. About a vacation, we plan. But our last journey, we don't plan. It needs you to be aware and take charge so that the last journey can be planned by us. To die in dignity, in privacy, in the company of loved ones. Many times we lose our dignity in death. So that should not be lost. And you know, your foundation itself is a dignity foundation, which upholds the dignity of the individual. So in death also, we should have dignity. How to achieve quality death? Pain relief and symptom control. Because we can't allow the patient to suffer with pain. So for pain relief, drugs should be given, either orally or by injections. And other symptom control, like if you have giddiness, if you have cough, if you have diarrhea, if you have vomiting, other symptom control should be given. Access to spiritual care, access to emotional support, and hospice care. Hospice care is a terminal care where we don't give treatment for the actual disease, like heart failure, we don't give, kidney failure, we don't give, but we give for symptom relief. You should not suffer. Patient should be peaceful. So peaceful atmosphere is being created by hospice care. The choice of being at home. You can be at home or in the hospital. At the hospital also you can be outpatient department. You can take the treatment, come home, or you can be in inpatient also. Because in inpatient, you'll be in a separate room or in a general ward where the relatives, friends are permitted to meet you. Only in intensive care, the relatives and friends are not permitted to meet for sepsis reasons. To be able to give specific instructions like no intensive care unit, admission or intervention, and DNR, do not resuscitate. The resuscitation means if the heart stops suddenly, then they give cardiac massage, mouth-to-mouth breathing, somehow revive the patient. So we can always say, do not resuscitate. When the life is gone, allow me to die peacefully. Don't resuscitate and bring back to life. This is our choice. If you can speak coherently, you decide your choices. And decisions will be followed. So till the end, can we speak? See, towards the end, there will be, I told you, mental clouding will be there, will be disoriented, there will be delirium, will be semi-conscious. At that time, we can't decide. Somebody has to decide for us. Can you decide right till the end? You can't decide. What suffering happens when there is nobody is there to willing to make your decisions? Living will. Now only I'm going into the topic of living will. Another some 7-8 slides. I will complete. Maybe another 10 minutes time I will complete. Living will is an important tool. Can go a long way in ensuring that we have some amount of control over the way we die and how we die. So living will is an important tool that can go a long way in ensuring that we have some amount of control over the way we die and how we die. So living will involves declaration by the individual of sound mind. You know, any declaration we make, we should be of sound mind, whether it is for regular movable, immovable property or for this health related will, we should be of sound mind. This is proved by that we are in sound mind by the witnesses, clearly stating their wishes for the end of their life. How the end of their life, what treatment should be given and what treatment should not be given. That should be clearly stated in the living will. And we have to nominate 3 healthcare power of attorneys. 3 healthcare power of attorneys or otherwise surrogate decision maker for executing the will. These 3 people should not form as a committee, because when we become unconscious, somebody has to execute our wishes, what we have given in the will. So first power of attorney is of top priority. The person who is younger to you or healthier than you or who is in close proximity to you, who will come and attend when you are unconscious, should be nominated as the first healthcare power of attorney. And then the second priority, second healthcare power of attorney. The third priority, three persons. Why 3 persons is? Suppose the first person is out of city or he is himself sick, then we can go to the second person. Even if the second person is sick or is out of city, he can go to the third person. That's the reason we gave 3 healthcare power of attorney. And these people should implement your wish in letter and spirit. And they should be convinced also. So they should implement your will in letter and spirit. The important part of this presentation is this one particular slide where you have to consult and convince all the people involved in your life who are going to take you to the hospital when you are sick, who are with you at the end of your life, the doctors, the family doctor. In those days, only one family doctor will be there for a patient, but nowadays, doctors, we have a number of diseases. There is a poly consultant. We go one for eye, we have separate consultant. For heart, we have separate consultant. For stomach, we have separate consultant. For liver, we have some separate. For a neurologist, then we see number of specialists. So whichever specialist you are consulting, all these doctors should be consulted and convinced. Similarly, the family members. Family members means starting with the spouse, the children, the siblings, and close family friends. Intimate, close family friends who are likely to come and take care of you when you are sick, when you are unconscious, when they are who is taking you to the hospital. These people should be convinced. Convinced. Then caregivers, the physiotherapist, the healthcare power of attorneys. I told you, healthcare power of attorney 3 members. All the 3 members should be convinced. Document comes into force when all agree. See, all these people should unanimously agree. Unanimously, they should agree. There should not be any difference of opinion at all. At least for your last, you are expressing your last wish. That should be respected. Even the spouse should respect it, the children should respect it, the siblings should respect it, and the close friends should respect it. And all of them should agree to it. Signed by the individual in the presence of 2 witnesses. And signed by...
Doctor,
Yes,
sorry
please.
sorry
Yes,
to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Can you show the previous slide once again, please?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, consult and convince.
Okay,
I
okay.
suppose the family doctor or the doctors, the family members, caregivers, physiotherapists, healthcare power of attorney. Okay. Shall I move to the next slide?
Yes, please, please.
Yeah. Document comes into force when all of them agree. Signed by the individual in the presence of 2 witnesses and signed by 2 witnesses. So make multiple copies because usually we tend to forget it. If you take a document, many times we forget it and search the whole house upside down, left to right, you may not be able to find the document. And more so when you are in a emotional disturbance, emotional stress, when the individual suddenly falls sick, becomes unconscious, he should be rushed to the hospital. At the time, we can't be searching the records. So make multiple copies of the living will and place it in the medical record. 1 copy, you place it in the medical record. 1 copy, you put it in the visible place in the house, like a sticky note on the fridge. Give the copies to your family members, the spouse, the children, the sibling, close family friends, healthcare power of attorney, the doctors, all who are involved. Please issue a copy to them so that they will remember. Otherwise, they tend to forget it. If you talk to them, they may forget it. So kindly give a copy to them. So that, and also produce during a medical procedure. Any small medical procedure you go, even if you go for a routine investigations, laboratory investigation, master health checkup, you go, suddenly when blood is being taken, because of the old age, something may happen, untoward may happen. So anytime you go to a visit to a lab or a hospital, you take this copy along with you. Cancelling the living will. What if you change your mind? Because many times we change our mind. That is no harm because that's only we have our own autonomy. Indian Constitution, Article 21, right to life says you can decide. So, what if you change your mind? Living will and power of attorney can be revoked instantly and orally. The living will can be cancelled just if you say orally. The power of attorney will also be cancelled. What is the significance of the living will? It is a common man's protection against intensive care torture. In India, about 55 million people are driven below poverty line under this massive and unnecessary healthcare expenses. Because a patient is put in the intensive care ward, he has to spend daily more than 50,000 rupees minimum in cities. Probably in small towns, he has to spend 20,000 plus every day. And many middle class family is being pushed to poverty, and the next generation takes the brunt of it, and they become poor. This 55 million is every year.
I think doctor's connection has some problem. I will just contact.
Yeah, it looks again it is gone.
I think, yeah, his internet is gone. We'll wait for him to log in again.
Yeah.
Maybe you should ring him. He may not realize it is Sound is off. Screen is off.
Am I visible, please? Hello.
Yes, sir. You are visible.
You are visible now.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, doctor. Yes,
Again,
yes.
a computer. I joined with cell phone.
You are back, doctor, now.
So 55 million people are being pushed below poverty line. So we should decide whether to take intensive care treatment or not. I come to the fag end only. I will have some questions. When I answer the question, before that I get ready in my computer. I'll show you the forms of the living will. It is 3-page format. It just gives only the name of the individual. His identification, for his identification is voter card or Aadhaar card. The number is there, government ID number he has to note down. Then he has to give his address. Then he can decline whatever treatment, like if he doesn't want to take artificial feeding, you can say no artificial feeding, no artificial respiration, no cardiac resuscitation. Whatever he declines, he can decline in that form. Then the 3 power of attorney has to sign the 3 name of the power of attorney, their signature, their address, their cell number or email for contact. The 3 members will be there. And the second page end, we have to sign with the date and place. On the third page, we have 2 witnesses, their names, signature, their addresses. And this form has to be countersigned by a first-class magistrate as per the rule book. But practically, we can't get a signature of the first-class magistrate. So I have undergone 2 courses in this palliative care medicine from a Trivandrum Institute of Palliative Sciences. One, Dr. Rajagopal is the CEO of that institute. That institute is a WHO recognized institute, World Health Organization recognized center. So they have been practicing palliative care medicine for the past 20 years. So according to him, he says signature of the magistrate is not essential. As long as we sign and the 2 witnesses sign, that's more than enough. So kindly, you can ask your questions. Meanwhile, I join the computer also. Hello? Am I audible, please?
Yeah, you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can I ask, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Nagaraj.
Yes, Nagaraj, sir.
Yeah. Sir,
Yes, please.
1 minute. This living will, how far it is successful in India?
So the living will, sir, this is being practiced in Western countries for more than 4 decades.
Yeah.
In India, now only we are getting it. In Kerala state, a few centers, they are practicing living will. That's the idea of making this awareness. We should first know that living will is existing. And then when people are convinced, they have to make. In India, it is in a very nascent stage. It's just in the beginning stage, except for Kerala, of course. In Kerala, because of the Trivandrum Institute of Palliative Sciences, they are practicing living will to a certain extent. I won't say they all are practicing.
Yeah, because in India, it is a stigma or a bad omen to talk about death. And then if we try to give a publicity for all these things, I think, many family people will not like, even though we want to do. Okay,
Correct.
So what to do? That is the thing. Introducing this in India with a lot of emotions is a bit difficult only, but still it is better.
May I interrupt, sir?
Yes, sir.
With your permission.
Yes.
Yes, it is true that many family members, you see, they are sentiment driven. When we are in control of our senses, I think it is our duty to make the family members also realize that dying in a decent way, not like a vegetable death in ICU, uncared for. We should say that this is the type of end I prefer. So we have the duty to convince the family members also that there is nothing harmful or sinful about the living will. Thank you very much.
Absolutely correct, sir.
I am Rajapan here, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me 1 minute?
Sure, please, sir.
I am 85.
Yes,
and I have brought all my children and told them that
Yes,
I
sir.
never want to be in the ICU.
Okay,
And
sir.
I want to die. நல்லா சிரிச்சுட்டே சாகணும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Therefore,
Okay, sir.
don't admit in the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Think something.
Yes, sir.
I have written a letter to all my children stating that kindly don't admit me in the hospital in my last day.
Doctor, you have to switch off one of
Is the doctors, all the relatives. Once we are convinced, they will agree, sir.
One second, sir.
Yes,
You
sir.
are told that 3 people has to be given and 2 witnesses should be there. They should
Yes.
sign all these things.
Yes,
But
sir.
what I'm asking is, if the children tell the doctors not to do the ICU and we want to take back my parent,
Yes, sir.
you say that will not be allowed.
No, they'll be allowed, sir. They'll be allowed, sir.
They are
Two
the
things.
people to decide.
Yes, sir. 2 things, sir. One is all the doctors are not still aware about living will. That's why we are making this awareness program. So make all the doctors also aware. That is one side. The second part to your question is, even the doctor says you should undergo treatment, it is our own choice under right to constitution, right to life. So they'll ask you to sign a form against medical advice. So I'm taking my father against the medical advice of the doctors.
Yeah.
You have to sign in the case sheet and then we can take them back.
Now what I have done,
Yes,
I
sir.
have written a letter
Yes, sir.
to my children individually, 3,
Yes, sir.
wherein I have mentioned them. I don't want to be admitted in ICU in my last days.
Yes.
Please keep me in the family. I want to die in the presence of my family members.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I have written a letter and copy to given to all the 3 children.
You can make the living will copy. I will send it to you, sir. The living will copy. If I send it to you, you can form in the form itself. You can do sign, and the witness should be signed. Witness should be signed. Then it will be legally valid document.
When can I get that form?
Sir, I'll give my email ID and phone number, sir. Please contact me, sir.
Sir, I think it will be available on the, can be downloaded from the net or something, living well.
You can do it, sir. Instead of you searching it, I thought I can give my number or my mail ID.
Yeah, please.
So that you can do it, sir.
You can give it to Felista. We can take it from her.
Yeah, I'll give my number, sir, phone number.
Please,
Sir, put it in the chat box, sir. Please put it in the chat box, sir.
Yeah, chat box.
Is available.
I've already put the beginning of the chat. I've put.
Yeah,
I'll do
phone
it
number
again.
is in the
Not
chat
come
box.
in the chat box.
I'll do it again.
Sir, is there any complication in getting a death certificate in case you say you don't want any medical attention?
No, sir. There won't be any issue, sir. Death certificate is once a patient is dying, you have to give a death certificate, sir. That there is no issue because of living will and death certificate, sir.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah. Many times, doctor, the problem is whenever there is a death in the house, people sometimes face a problem of a declaration of by the doctor the death certificate. Many people have faced this problem here. So how do you really address such situations?
No, sir. So death certificate. See, once a patient is dying, the doctor is bound to give the death certificate.
No,
Whether
sir.
it is by natural death or you decline treatment, you come home. You decline treatment. The doctor says you should be in the ICU. You say, I don't want ICU. Against medical advice, I'm taking back home. And the patient dies at home. The doctor has to check and give a death certificate.
Which doctor gives, sir?
Your family doctor only, though, which doctor who have been treating you for a long time. Because suddenly some other doctor will be difficult because of medical legal aspects. The doctor who knows the family very well, that they will only has to give a death certificate.
Sir,
For that purpose itself, pardon?
Unfortunately,
Yes, sir.
nowadays, the concept of a family doctor is not existing.
Yes.
We go to a famous hospital or nearby hospital
Yes,
and
sir.
we take treatment from the particular branch of medicine.
Yes, sir.
And I hope if I visit a hospital 2 or 3 times
Yes,
in
sir.
the last 3 months, and
Yes,
if
sir.
the doctor is referred to, he will be happy to give you a certificate of death.
You should be for a long time under treatment, sir. Otherwise, they may not be willing because medical legal
Sure.
aspects are involved. You should be under the treatment of a doctor for a longer duration. To
You
know
have
him
given your
personally.
email. You have
Yes,
given
sir.
your email. What about phone number?
Phone numbers I have given, sir. Now it has come, sir.
Only email has come.
No,
Your number.
phone number is in the earlier part of the chat, sir.
No, now I put, sir. Now I put, sir.
Now you have come. Yes.
Yes, sir.
No, it has come, doctor. It has come.
Yes,
Both have come. Thank you.
Now it has come.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are there any consultants to whom I can approach so that they will facilitate the whole process easily, even for a fee?
No, there is no process at all, sir. This form I told you, no, sir. I send it to email. This gives your name, your number is Aadhaar card number or election card number for identification only this individual, address, your phone number. Then the 3 power of attorneys, name, signature, their valid ID number, their address, email address for contact or phone number for contact. Then the 2 witnesses, name, address, and the signature. It's a simple form with 3 pages. But the main hitch is, as per rule book, it has to be signed by first-class magistrate. But the training institute, where I've undergone a training, they say with first-class magistrate, it's very difficult to get a signature. So as long as you sign the paper and is countersigned by 2 witnesses, there are 3 power of attorney, it holds good. No need of any consult at all, sir. It's simple paper. I'm not able to share it now. I'm not trying to go again.
I got it. Yes. But the main issue here is to convince the children to get the power of attorneys, and so it's more.
No, power of attorney is our own relatives. The children itself can be power of attorney also. Your relative can be power of attorney. Your friends can be power of attorney. So anybody, 3 persons who will be close by. See, children, if they are far, they can't be power of attorney. Whoever is close to you, in any moment of unconscious, they are able to reach you within a short time. Those people should be power of attorney. And those people should have keen interest in your personal welfare. They should respect your wishes. They should be able to respect your wishes. Only then they will carry out it in letter and spirit.
And the witnesses have to be 2 other people.
2 other people, yeah. Other than this, you can't mix both the people. The same person cannot be witness and power of attorney. Witness should be a separate person. So you require 5 people for writing.
You require to convince 5 people and your children.
Not convincing not 5 people, sir. You have to convince your wife, your children, your siblings, your brothers, sisters, your friends, the neighborhood, because it is a legal, because once somebody is dying, the property is there, a number of legal issues are there. So they will give color to the death itself. And you go to court and all. So you have to convince everyone, whoever knows you, all these people should be convinced. Because suddenly one brother will spring a surprise. They didn't take him to the hospital just for the property's sake. He will go to police, he will go to court. So unnecessary problem will be there. So you have to convince everyone, not only 5 people.
Sir, I got one more question.
1 second, sir. Forget about the property and other things.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if I want to donate my body or my organs,
yes, sir.
I already registered with the government hospital.
Okay, sir.
One hospital I have registered and they give me a number. But that registration and my letter to the bank, to the hospital, will be sufficient for them to come and take the body?
Yes, sir. No, but you have to inform. Somebody has to inform the hospital, sir.
They should know that the patient is dead.
Yeah. We should inform the hospital that the patient is dead and he is willing to donate. So then only the hospital authorities will come and collect the body, sir. It's better. It's always better we take with the vehicle and go to the hospital and donate the body, because suddenly from government hospital there might be driver, there might be vehicle, there may not be fuel. So it's always better we should find out the working time of the hospital, at what time they'll receive the body.
The will of the man may not be considered in the presence of relatives and others. Everyone will give suggestion and they say no, it cannot be. We have to bury him, we have to burn him, all these things they will say.
That is the idea, sir. We should convince our close relatives and make them known your wish, because you can't keep it as a secret. What is your wish has to be made public among the kith and kin, so that they respect your wishes. The relative should be a person who will respect your wishes.
Thank you.
So we should make this your choice more visible. Your choice should be known to all. You should talk to them repeatedly.
Sir, the children may say that I will honor your living will, provided you write the property in my name.
No. That's not the way, sir. We will not argue with this. Children are your children.
I should say.
No, they are your children, sir. So they will listen to you. And the way how we treat them, everything will respond to us. And
sir, there is one more question. There is in the normal will, whatever we prepare, that there will be some, there is a class nowadays that you can write how much of expenditure out of the part of your property or whatever it is, savings, can be earmarked for your own expenses towards the end. So what is that called? That means after distribution, everything to all the children, wife and everybody. So what is it?
These are somewhat outside the scope of what we
No. This is that also that medical will not comes. It comes because it is not after death. It is before death. How much money should be expended? Money should be spent from my own my own savings or whatever it is.
So it is your choice, sir. You are earning. You can. It's your choice to spend on whatever purpose you want, sir. You can donate to for some religious purpose. You can donate to education institution. You can earmark some amount for your own health. So it's your choice. You earn money. Only the ancestral property you have to go to the grandchildren. Your own earned money you can spend as you wish.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes, Dr.
I was wondering about the number of palliative care centers that we have. I think they are far too less when compared to what we require.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I told you, no, ma'am, this in India, 560 medical colleges are there. 560 medical colleges, out of which only 3 medical colleges offer a course in palliative care medicine, MD course. So it's a new concept.
Not the course, doctor. I was talking about the centers.
No. I'm coming to your point. No, the center should be manned by only palliative care specialist.
Okay.
Opening the centers, infrastructure will not help you without a specialist there. So specialist has to be there. So only 3 medical colleges are offering. So this is a new concept. Gradually, this will be building up.
Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Saab, Hades Sujan from Mumbai.
Yes, please.
See, in life there is only one thing which is certain, and that is death.
Yes.
So, to make sure that other people live because of your death, it is better to donate your body. And to donate your body, there are organizations like Dignity Foundation itself, Times of India, which give you a donation card.
Yes.
So once you get the card, you inform your family or your friends. If you don't have family, you inform your friends. Like I had done, made a list of all my friends whom I informed to donate my body, and pasted it in my kitchen where my house help. I have informed them to inform everybody once I die, so they donate my body.
Yeah. That is well done, sir. That is a good idea, sir.
Living well.
I told you, sir, even if you have got a card, you have donated and all, but at the time of death, it's only the close friends and relatives. They arrange a vehicle and they take the body to the hospital where you are donated and they give the body, because the hospital may not be, sometimes they may have the less resources. They have a driver or a vehicle or a fuel is there. They may not come in time. So better on our relatives' part to take the body and hand it over at the hospital premises itself.
Absolutely correct. Yes, sir. Absolutely correct. And regarding my property and card and all, I have made a separate will.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir.
Great. Thank you so much, doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Very good advice.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else with a question?
Doctor, this session itself is something very new to all of us, many of us probably, and many must have known, some must have known, but for us it is obviously a new subject and a new probably thoughts, new idea. People who have never had thought of it to do probably gives an idea. This is how we can think of it. I think that gives a big startup point for people to think. So thank you, doctor. It was wonderful that you presented.
Thank you very much, sir. For any of your members, if you want similar sessions for your group of people separately also, I'm willing to give a presentation. And I have given my email ID. I give my cell number.
Yeah.
Please don't hesitate to call me.
Yeah.
I have this passion of spreading this message to many people.
Okay, sir.
So please don't hesitate to call. We can organize even small groups. We can arrange for your Dignity Foundation of different areas.
Okay, sir. We got your mail ID and your phone number also. So we have noted down. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank
Sir,
you.
I doubt many of members have thought it is about writing a bill of a property, things like that.
Pardon? The property?
Many of them would have misunderstood the topic as it is
No.
about.
We have understood
Not
clearly.
before the program started.
Correct.
Some members asked questions like that. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
No.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I don't think that is the point, because people understand that that living will is different from
the normal will.
the property will. Yes, madam.
Before the session started, no, sir. Two people asked like about questions about related to property writing and all. Then only, that's why I repeated this thing.
Okay.
Then we explained them. No, this topic is not that. It is different and things like that.
Sir, I have a question, please.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
This thing, is there a prepared format for this living will, or we can just do it on plain paper?
No, on a plain paper you can do it, ma'am. I'll just give the format alone. If you write to the email, I'll send the copy. Today, because of the problem with the net only, otherwise I've shown the form also. Otherwise, if you are willing to spend some time, I'll go back, go out of the meeting. Again, I should rejoin right from beginning. I can show the form itself.
Yeah, and it's available where? I mean, how is it available?
You can see the Pallium India website. Pallium India website.
Pallium.
Yeah, PALLIUM. Pallium India website.
PALLIUM. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any problem, please don't hesitate to call or mail.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doctor. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you said 516 colleges in Chennai, I mean in Tamil Nadu or India?
India, sir.
India. And only 3?
Only 3 are offering course. A new branch, sir. It's a new branch.
New branch.
And it's not a money-fetching branch.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that there were special palliative care units at all.
Yeah, palliative care unit. Somebody was asking about palliative care units.
I never heard of that before.
It's slowly springing up. Slowly is coming up, sir.
Sir, in Bangalore, there is a palliative care unit, very famous, Karunashraya, for the cancer research, cancer ailing patients, cancer-affected patients. For the last some 10 to 12 years, it is doing wonderful job. Karunashraya.
Doctor, so grateful to you for giving this lecture.
Thank you, sir. In India, we'll have about 100 centers. In India, we'll have about 100 centers, palliative care centers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really kind of you.
Thank you, sir.
Very grateful to you.
Thank you.
We appreciate this.
Abba, ma'am, please.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes, ma'am.
On behalf of Dignity Foundation Chennai chapter, I thank you profoundly for the wonderful talk you gave. It was very useful and it's a new subject to all of us. So thanks a lot, Doctor. I'll keep in touch with you on mail, Doctor. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you all. Thank you for your presence. Thank you.